That's where the money is. Let's go take it.
Do you think he's still alive?
I do not.
I don't think he's alive either.
It may seem impossible for the guys at the famous gold and silver pawn shop to be making blunders in their business, and you may be somewhat right in thinking so. However, there have been instances where the show has been conned by criminals. Here we take a look at some of the moments where Pawn Stars encountered hardcore criminals. Number 10. Stolen gold coins. A woman once came to the pawn shop looking to sell some gold coins and got $12,375 for them. It was then discovered that the woman had actually stolen her uncle's gold coins and sold them to the pawn shop, but the shop had already melted them and they were protected by the law in doing so, and the woman's poor uncle would get none of his money back as it was a legitimate sale. Number 9. Stolen diamond earrings. In one episode, a very articulate and well-dressed man came into the pawn shop to sell diamond earrings. Nothing seemed sketchy, and the man answered all of Rick's questions correctly and even had a receipt. Rick bought the earrings for $40,000. It was later found out that the diamonds were actually stolen when the police came to recover it. Even though the thief got arrested, Rick's $40,000 still went down the drain.
Guy in a suit comes in the pawn shop, got a big set of diamond earrings.
Number 8. Fake San Francisco jersey. Corey paid $21 grand for an inauthentic San Francisco jersey, which the seller, who didn't have any evidence of authenticity, said was worn by Willie Mays. It turned out that the jersey was fake and was then put on the auction for $19,000 and had a minimum value of only $2,000 to $3,000.
The bases he stole, game-winning catches, all kinds of stuff.
Which I'm sure he did in this uniform.
Number 7. Fake Rolex watches. Corey spent $4 grand on 6 Rolex watches which he believed to be real and of high value, but which were in fact fake. This happened when Corey first started working night shifts at the store and was still pretty inexperienced, so as of now, he probably knows how to handle business.
So I only spent about $4 grand on the 6 fake Rolexes.
Number 6. $20 bill from DB Cooper hijacking. A guy once wanted to sell a $20 bill for $2,000, which was from the infamous DB Cooper hijacking that occurred in 1971. The identity of the person who committed hijacking was never discovered, and this was one of the most flashy robberies in history. It was very interesting that an item like this appeared on the show. In the end, Rick bought it for $1,600.
I have a piece of a $20 bill.
It is a piece of a $20 bill from the DB Cooper hijacking.
Number 5. Fake Gibson Mandolin. When Chum-Lee was the one behind the counter, a guy came into the shop with a Gibson Mandolin guitar, which he said he got from a yard sale and was bought by Chum-Lee for $1,500. Unfortunately, the guitar was fake and worth only about $100.
It's in great condition.
You can see the craftsmanship on it is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the one thing about these.
Number 4. Kenny Boom Smith. Kenny Smith was an infamous counterfeit fraud. In one episode of the show, he tried to sell his counterfeit money machine and also counterfeit money to the store, but he was put behind bars as the US Secret Service had been tracking his movements, and his appearance on the show made it a whole lot easier for them to bust him. Number 3. Lucky Luciano Pendant. Lucky Luciano was an infamous Italian-born gangster who operated mainly in the United States. A guy on the show was willing to sell a pendant for $100 grand, which according to him belonged to Lucky Luciano. Unfortunately, he didn't have any paperwork for it, and Rick had to let it go.
I was told it probably was manufactured in the late 1800s, but I don't have any way of proving that.
Number 2. Richard Harrison gets duped. The old man was once hilariously scammed after he was presented with a project which he believed would let him do a charitable cause. However, he didn't know that in reality, his house would be used as a place to party by the motorcycle gang, and all the money raised would be given to the people who had issues with the law. Number 1. Vic Flick. A studio musician who boasted about working with music legends and notable singers, called Vic Flick, once came to the pawn shop to sell his 1961 Stratocaster, which Rick bought for $50 grand. Rick later found out that Vic was not as impressive as he said he was and had to sell the guitar for just $20 grand.
I've worked on records with Nancy Sinatra and Petula Clark.
Pawn Stars does encounter a great deal of people, and criminals aren't an exception, and you actually never know what's going to walk through the doors of the gold and silver pawn shop. These were some of the times when Pawn Stars encountered hardcore criminals. And that brings us to the end of the video. We really hope you enjoyed it. Hit like and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.